In a world of darkness and despair, we search for a way to repair the damage that we've done. It's time to care for the planet that we share. A paradigm shift, a brand new start. Rechargeable buildings, a work of art. Transition engineering will play our part to shape the future. Let the fire spark. We rise from the ashes, building a world that forever lasts. With every step, we'll break through the barriers, replenishing the earth, reaching for the stars.
Hello, Tiara community. I'm so happy to be here today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in this beautiful world. And I have to reiterate the fact that here, Tiara, we don't care about your location, we don't care about your gender, age, ethnicity, and sexual orientation. We are here for a global scope to create a better future for all, to solve the SDGs sooner, and have a bright future, not just for us, but for the future generations. And with that said, Christina Imre here, the founder of TLL, at a new event, a post-summit dialogue that we prepared for you, where we are matching amazing speakers that you might have heard during the summit. If not, please go to see the replays because each panel was just like absolutely amazing and with a lot of things to learn and work out and think about what we can implement today in our world. We had some amazing announcements today with our newsletter that comes out every Wednesday, as you know, but this time it came earlier through Beehive because we are transitioning to that platform because you don't receive all the newsletters through LinkedIn and because we don't know what's going on there and we want everyone to receive and have a direct forward communication. So please connect with us and subscribe on the Beehive part because after 2 weeks, we won't list the newsletter on LinkedIn anymore. But we will see each other here live every Wednesday in different forms, video, audio, and we will test Zoom as well, what works best for you because we want to integrate the entire world and listen to you and what you want. And in today's newsletter, you finally found the new direction we are going for. And the next 12 months will be dedicated for the global story. And this is our next huge, humongous, let's say, project. Because after the summit and what we discovered, and please read the consensus document that we started to spread around the world, we discovered that the one denominator that could bring us closer to solve those SDGs sooner before anything else is to identify the common story because we are so divided, so unclear about the common directions to how to connect each other to the grid and thinking, listening to every one of you and all the messages that poured in and everything that we know through history and studying a little bit also evolutionary psychology and how we evolved as a species. And if we want to become a level 1 civilization and we want to do that fast and in time and without jeopardizing the future generations, then we do need to align on a common story. And I believe that this will be the common accelerator and catalyst for all the progress that we will see and reach afterwards. And once policymakers around the world and all the leaders that are responsible for our future will know that this is what the people want, they will find the ways to accelerate the resolutions and the policies that needs to be made for that. And for this reason, of course, many details were not yet revealed just because it was decided last night that we go with this in the open today. The plan is in the making since we decided that this is the next step and based on everything that poured to in our way. And you will learn the details. For now, we start the hiring process. We start to gather everything that we need to launch the official project of the global story, a vision for SDGs. And this will be the center also for our next summit. Put it in your calendar, October 9/11. That will mark a new historical moment where we might collectively change our future into the better. And with that said, today we have here some amazing guests who were already here. And I will start with Katrina Montinola, who was part of the AI Factor panel. And welcome back, Katrina. A couple of words if you want to say hi to us.
Hello, thank you for inviting me back in the show. I'm very excited to be here and to have a conversation with Dr. Allman, who is just I've been reading a lot about his work and it's amazing. I love that whole AC and I can after reading that I realized that there are also some of the things that I do are from my childhood, and it's helped me a lot, and I've only read it like a week ago, so I think that's amazing.
I I so love what you said because this is the idea in this post dialogue meetings and gathers. We are all about action. We don't just talk.
Yeah.
We are not event creators. We are not one entity that can be put in a box. We want to bring action, but for that, we also need the events, people to know about us and be connected with us. And
Mhm.
so, what you realized and what you did together with all the panelists in the AI channel was just like the AI panel day two. It was about where we are technology wise and what we can do around the SDGs and also climate. But we wanted then to connect different interdisciplinary
Mhm.
experts around the world to see how we connect the dots. And when it came to you and Dr. Brian, it was just like, oh, this would be such an interesting match because there is a history. I want to just share that how I envisioned this connection, but just saying hi to Dr. Brian, who was like a rock star during the panel because your storytelling
Yeah.
expertise and skill set is just like absolutely amazing. And since we know each other for 5 years, we met 5 years ago around, you improved. I mean, I see
Oh,
that kind of embetterment. And this is the difference between people who at some point they say, hey, I had enough, and those who constantly learn to improve themselves. Welcome back to our show.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you for inviting me. And I admire what you are creating for all of us and for the world. It's amazing. Katrina and I have talked about how
yeah.
impressed we are with what you're doing, which is so challenging to create and expand. And Katrina and I actually have a lot in common because Katrina's approach to AI and technology, because I've been reading a lot about your work, is very positive. Katrina, it's very supportive. It's what's right about it. How can we make even more use of this? So it's very much in alignment with what we do with ACEs and the positive childhood experiences. I say we, Dr. Folletti and I, because Katrina, you're so encouraging and even inspiring me to utilize AI even more in my app that's coming out soon. And that's one of the things I want to talk to you about later too. It's like, wow, I'm more excited about AI after reading about you than I ever have been. And we've been using it for quite a while. So I'm very happy to be here with you, Katrina. Thank you.
Now you see awesome community what we are creating here, like
Yeah.
matchmaking made in heaven, because this is the only way we can solve our problems today is to unite globally. And we will promote more and more the global citizenship concept and everything that relies on there is no borders, no location. We don't care about these things. We care about character, what you want for the world. If you love humankind, if you love humanity, if you love the kids, if you want to have a beautiful, bright future, because some people, they like wars. They like to be in control in no other way, and they just love destruction. So before we can change the leadership structure of those kind of people, we can do other things to influence these things in a more smarter way, also maybe technology wise. And the same thing as you said, Brian, Katrina, she has this kind of brilliant positivity in tech, and with her expertise of decades as well as you two, as we all connectedly have decades of expertise in different fields. And I also loved the way that she has this kind of humble personality. I mean, no matter what she's doing or how on top of things she is and how many things she knows, she's truly like a best friend person. I mean, I feel like a best friend with Katrina every time when we discuss. She does has this kind of good intention, and this matters so much.
Well,
And
thank
for
you.
this,
Yeah.
you're welcome. That's why I will introduce how I saw this combination between the two of you, because once the phrase mental health was completely unfamiliar, not even, we don't even have 100 years, because, okay, there was World War II and the preparations and before, and people were like seeing these things as disability, and there was no mental health awareness, and even the concept was just known less than 100 years ago, maybe around 1963. And so this was such a new territory for people, because we consider that this is something taboo, we don't need to talk about it. And even today in corporate especially, and for men many times, and for women alike, but from different perspectives and for different reasons, this is something that they don't like to talk about much. But now we have the tools for that. On the same time, if we consider technology, during that same time, we had huge computers in a room with a very, very small bandwidth. And we started the innovation in technology and in AI. And so both mental health awareness and technological innovation were like born in slow motion. And now, just some decades later, we reached a huge peak where no one thought 100 years ago that we might be. And this is the way I saw this kind of collision combination between the two, because I think we can accelerate the global aspect. First, let's define, where do you think we are on a mental health level status today, with so many existential threats and also speed rapid changes in technology? Brian, what would you say about
Where are we now?
yes, the
Yeah.
current state of mental health?
Yeah. Well, as you said, Christina, we've come a long way in that, we couldn't even get people to answer the adverse childhood experiences questions when we started. It was really an uphill battle to get doctors, therapists to really be open to it. Now we are in 120 countries. So
Yeah.
to give you an idea of where we are now, it's expanded globally. People are much more open, as you said at the very beginning, Katrina, when you said, you look back at your own impact of your childhood even more since reading about and kind of connecting together. And that's really what's happening, is people always knew that were affected by our upbringings, but really didn't have the science to understand it, or didn't have the solutions. And so we have come so far, Christina, from where we were, almost like, like a baby, just learning how to crawl. And now we're actually up on 2 feet, and we're not running, but we are walking. So we still have a long way to go, but we've come a long way. And I'm very encouraged by what's happening in the world now, with people's openness and willingness. I mean, you look at social media, I mean, mental health is just everywhere. And of course, AI has a lot to do with it growing at a faster pace. And a more comprehensive, healthier pace as well. Yeah. So, hallelujah. Mhm.
Hallelujah. Yeah. The question to you, it's a little bit nuanced, Katrina, and we didn't went through the introductions because we expected people went through the replays and saw the amazing summit. Dr. Brian Allman has here a huge legacy in research, especially I see you as a researcher because you created or you are part of maybe the biggest mental health research in the world. 135,000 people went through it, and people not who were part of the research, but more people, 500,000, they took it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know anyone, not even close. So, and you travel the world to understand human nature, mental health status, and enlightenment. That was just like so amazing. You need to see the parts inside the summit where Dr. Brian talks about enlightenment and the new app that will come out, and we will touch base that as well, of course. And Katrina, you as a technologist, part of multiple as board member, of course, and advisor, and you also worked inside the mental aspect inside healthcare, and that's so interesting. So the question would be framed to you: how do you see mental health addressed inside the technical world, where there are so many technical people, engineers who are not so friendly with the term mental health, and they don't like to talk about it much?
So are you talking about like software engineers who maybe have some mental health issues but are reluctant to seek help? Is that kind of where the question that you're...
That could be the second part. First is just the impression, because where we start the discussion, first of all, inside technology, many people don't even open up about the possibility that someone would have such issues. So how do you see the topic discussed inside tech?
Yeah, I mean, I understand. So I work in Silicon Valley, and I've worked here since 1990. And, in Silicon Valley, everything is like, work. And, like working till midnight was just pretty normal, for many years for me. And so one of the things as a, a manager of engineers is I've always like felt that the mental side and the emotional side of an engineer is just as important as their technical abilities. And so I've always been very good about that and really trying to observe it. And you are right, like there is very little attention put to it. And one of the biggest things over the years that I've seen as a hiring manager is burnout because of that, and I think that over the last few years that has a little bit changed, and I'm encouraged by that, because people are more aware of like that different people have different ways of working and being more productive, and sometimes that means taking a break, and that's okay, that sort of thing. That's a little bit not the Silicon Valley way, or the American way of working is just like, we gotta work. But that's changing, and I'm encouraged by that.
What would you do? What kind of measures would you impose inside this space, if you could, to let people open up about such issues?
Well, one of the first things I do with my engineers is I always, I meet with them one-on-one every week regularly. And the first thing I have to do is get their trust in order to open up to me. And so one of the first things I tell them is, look, as your manager, I'm actually paid. The company pays me to make you more productive, to make you happy. That's the only reason I'm here. I don't produce anything. I'm just here to make you more productive. And the only way I can make you more productive is if you come and tell me your problems, And and if you tell me your problems, then I can at least try to help you. I can't guarantee that I can help you, but I can guarantee you that if you don't tell me your problems, then I'm not going to be able to help you, you know, that kind of thing. And so I try to get their trust, um and once that, you know, over time, and you do that, you know, weekly over time, then people start to open up, and then I can I can tell, you know, oh, they're getting stressed, or they have some problems at home or something like that. And then, you know, you have to give people time to, you know, to work those things out. And you can't just, you know, our deadlines are always really, really tight, but I have to tell them, look, I want you here for the long term. And I almost have to tell them to, like, take a vacation. A lot of times it's amazing how many people in here in Silicon Valley don't ever take their vacations. Like, you know, they have vacation and they just bank it and never use it. It's amazing. So, you know, that's one of the biggest things, is just earn their trust so that they'll come to you and really tell you how they feel.
Amazing insights, Katrina. And I encourage everyone, especially the LinkedIn audience, because we have many people there and they are just joining more and more. So please address your questions. Please address everything you want to share with us, because we will highlight those on screen and also answer them. But for sure, we take note with everything that comes our way, because we want to create a collective wisdom data set, if it's possible, that will tell us what is the next way. Every next step for TLL was a collective effort of listening and bringing minds together. No one decision was done by me because I founded this thing. No, it was because of you all. Brian, what would you do? You would start forcing technicians and technical people to take vacations, because it's so outside of their normal to just even comprehend that they have something and they should do something about it.
Right. Well, yeah, I love what Katrina's saying, because you're starting off, Katrina, with a connection, a trust, listening, being supportive. So in order for the tech, the AI to come in for the follow-up, for the ongoing support, right at your fingertips, right in the palm of your hand, you can get more of Katrina, or more support, more encouragement, reminders about time, taking breaks, vacation, things you can do to avoid burnout. So that connection, that human relationship is really the fertile ground that all of the best things can grow. And I'll usually give somebody space if they don't take vacations, they don't take breaks. I'll just say, what impact is that having on your life? That you don't take breaks, you don't take vacations. So I just want to know, what impact is that having on your life? Well, and they'll usually start off with good things. Well, I get a lot of work done and I keep things going and I don't miss any deadlines and all that. And then I just listen. I give them all the space in the world and just listen with unconditional acceptance, and even do this with the tech as well as in person. And then the truth comes out. Well, I haven't really had time to, and I've really grown much more distant from, and my relationships aren't really, and then, kind of the truth comes out after they have a chance to tell you what's right about it. And you're just listening and giving them the space to describe the impact on their lives. They oftentimes get to their own best answers. And then at the end, and I've hardly done anything except facilitate a chance for them to connect with themselves. I think I'm going to start taking more breaks, they say. And I decided while I was talking, I know the vacation I'm going on, and as soon as I finish with you, I'm going right online to figure out when the best dates are and what the flights are. And, so there's a lot of self-discovery that can happen in person because of the trust, or on the phone, a laptop, a desktop, on the mechanism, to motivate people to take better care of themselves by giving them the space to look at the impact of not taking better care of themselves. Because as soon as you tell people what they should do, they are going to shut down, goes in this, air out the other. So giving people the questions, we're big believers in asking important questions, and then that acceptance, that unconditional acceptance, just let them speak. It's amazing how smart people are. Even
Yeah.
the engineers that are working, 18, 20 hours a day, they're really wise about themselves also. They just don't spend that much time on it because they're externally focused. When they do use the same skills, those same software, hardware, engineering skills on the inner issues in themselves, there's a lot of brilliance that comes out. They're certainly smarter about themselves than I am. So I give them that opportunity to utilize their own inner software, inner hardware to discover their own best solutions.
There are many levels to smartness, as you know, and we can be smart in multiple ways and also very dumb in other ways. So
Mhm.
the dimensions of human psyche and capacity, it's absolutely fascinating to me. And so, okay, we touched base about how we can approach this inside the tech world, but let's see now what the tech world could provide inside the mental health landscape for the global population, because now we are facing multiple aspects that are new to us, and that now we have the AI coming to play, and people, some trust the AI, some not trust, don't know how to project and how to behave with this. And let's start with the global population who just starts to understand, wow, this will be a big disruptor. It could take out everything from my life. It could take my job. I don't know how to function in this new world. So a new population of depressed, anxious people, or who just step down, are
Mhm.
appearing, and
Mhm.
they are in the surface right now as we speak. And what we can do with them, with the help of technology, to help them navigate through these times. Who wants to start?
What Katrina said so important about, when you said your job is to make them a more productive person, a more productive employee. When people understand that AI can help them be a more mentally healthy person, a more relaxed person, a more productive person. So it's all about starting off with acceptance. Okay, and Katrina, myself, our colleagues that are doing the kind of work we are, Christina, you also, is to develop an acceptance set. Well, how could AI and technology help me be more healthy? Okay, so they ask that question. So there's a great beginning, but it's definitely getting to a place where they have awareness of what the potentials are, just like inner, same with outer. They accept that they have more potentials than they are utilizing. I mean, let's face it, this is the most powerful pharmacy in the world in between our ears, the most powerful computer in the world ever will be in our, 86 billion, bytes, with trillions of potentials. So once a person understands, wow, so AI can help my own biocomputer, my own inner wiring, my own circuitry, my own coding be more effective. Oh, and they start to see a match and there's an acceptance of it, then really there's so much opportunity, because as soon as the acceptance is there, the unconscious, the inner mind, the inner wisdom opens up. Without the acceptance, more self-judgment or judgment of AI, it's hard to get anywhere. So at least it's important to accept that they don't accept it. So they get into an acceptance set. But that is really the door opener for people to really move forward with AI, really move forward with mental health, inner resilience, is to accept new possibilities, new potentials, and the connection between the outer and the inner, the AI and the mental health. So that's sort of the key word, because it opens people up as soon as they're accepting, whether it's friends or activities or AI or mental health. That's sort of the, oh, interesting. and curiosity starts happening, and then creativity starts happening, and then they're coming up with ideas to help Katrina and I figure things out,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly,
So
I like your conversation because I don't know what I started at the beginning, but I wanted to say you already connected, you already exchanged ideas, and this is the beauty of what we want to achieve at Tech Leadership Lab through the summit and after with action. And I'm so happy that in this room we already know each other, and now our audience also starts to know each other, and then they will collaborate and they will get ideas about us. Katrina, what do you think?
yeah, I mean, I think that's great. In fact, I was actually going to ask Dr. Allman. I'm curious. You were talking about acceptance
Yeah.
of AI, and I'm curious if you feel that technical people would be more accepting of AI or less accepting. I think about that sometimes because in some ways, technical people, are often, you would think that they're the early adopters of
Mhm.
technology, but oftentimes that's that's actually not true, because I think in general we are um, engineers in general are quite um, almost pessimistic about,
Yeah.
about technology. Maybe because it's sort of the old what is that, the cobbler's kids have no shoes,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Well, I like the phrase, Katrina and Christina, you are going to learn to let go of some control to gain an even greater control.
Oh, I
So, yeah. And because with engineers and tech people, control is a
like.
big thing, right? With their work, but also with their emotions, with their thinking, with their lives. They want to be in control because when they're in control, they are being a good engineer, being a good tech person. And that's the idea, is to control everything if possible. Well, AI is actually going to help you gain an even greater control. It's going to empower you. You're going to be able to be even more productive, even happier, less stressed, have more time. So, what's right about you adding these technologies, AI, into your work, into your personal life? What's right about it? And I would ask them that question. Again, they're going to start off with what's wrong about it, because they've got to go there, and because they want to be in control, and just listen. And within a few minutes, they start to wonder, well, maybe it could. And I wonder if, and then they start being innovative and creative about how they could use AI. So whether somebody's open or closed and it's a tech person, that really doesn't matter, because when we ask the questions and they have a chance to be heard and be listened to, they'll usually discover what's right about it. Like that, what impact is it having on your life to not be open to AI? What impact will it have on your life if you are open to AI? And just giving them the room to be heard and be listened to by asking them, thoughtful, caring questions that we're genuinely curious about their answers. I'm very curious about why people are closed. They usually have very good reasons. And when we listen, they usually work their way right through that. Yeah.
So, so I'm also, one thing I was thinking about is that I believe in software engineers like myself, because
Mhm.
I was a software engineer for many, many years. We like to be in control because that's kind of how we are successful. When you write software, you're basically telling a computer what to do at the minute level, like and so we're always like, we step by step we're in control.
Mhm.
But the new way of programming now, and dealing with technology, with AI, it's not so much, we don't tell AI anymore, we don't tell software anymore, I mean computers, when we write software,
Mhm.
we don't tell them very specifically like we do in the old days of programming.
Mhm.
We now, with AI, we ask questions, we're prompting, so we're
Mhm.
asking them
Mhm.
questions, and um we're sort of at a higher level, telling the computer what we want, the
Mhm.
AI what we want, and
Mhm.
the AI spits out the code, right? So I
Right.
wonder if that's going to change the way software engineers um, feel about the control thing, and be more open to, sort of asking a higher level questions,
Yes.
because you know we always think very, 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 very minute and low
Yeah.
level.
Yeah. That's
Before
yeah.
before Brian answers this, if
Yeah.
it's possible, Katrina, I am curious how software engineers were disrupted by AI, because exactly what you said, it shifted the way they did things, and they were control on every little things, that little step they did inside the program. And so how do they perceive AI, as a threat or something exciting?
Well, for me, I'm very excited about it, because it's really upped the productivity of all software engineers by an order of magnitude, at least. I you know you can In the old days, when I started in the late 80s, like, it would took our software development projects were like 5 years long, to do something very, very I work for a bank, and to do a piece of banking software, the life cycle is literally 5 years long. um and then now, I mean, the things that you can do are so much more, because AI is basically spitting out all the low level code, the code that maybe, as an engineer, we'd have to, um, look up the actual syntax of things, and we'd have to learn a new language, and all that. You don't have to do that anymore. It's amazing how fast
Mhm.
it'll spit out a whole program for you. You just have to kind of tell it at a higher level what you want. In the old days, we used to always have this thing. Engineers would always say, "Oh gosh, um, I just need a I need, why can't the computer do what I want? I need, but it's because we had to express it in very, very low level, but now we can, express our ideas in higher level, and it'll do it for you. So I as an engineer, like, really feel like, wow, this is great. I all the boring parts, AI will do, and I'll just do the more interesting parts. Is like,
Mhm.
the higher level solutions, and that kind of thing. So I think AI is actually good for software engineering.
All right, and now let's see, Brian, what do you think about Katrina's question?
Well, what Katrina's getting to is that she, like many of her colleagues, the people she manages, are curious people. That's really why they went into engineering and why they went into programming and software and computers. They're genuinely curious. And with AI, curiosity is king, because you can
Mhm.
find out anything, you can create anything, you can dismiss things really quickly and get on to things that really are helpful. So uh, it's important when people are closed off, to the point earlier, Christina, or they are judgmental about AI, to just let them be judgmental and critical and let them have their say. I'm sure there's some good ideas in there. It might relate to their upbringing and the way they were raised. It might relate to their education or their present or past jobs, or worry about future jobs. So judgment isn't a shutdown. Judgment is a bridge. When you allow people to be judgmental, to getting to more of an open mind, more curious, more accepting. So it's okay. So when I work with engineers, and I've had a lot of experience at Qualcomm because of one of my colleagues and advisors, Don Jones, and still collaborate with him. And so I'm with engineers a lot of the time. And of course, building an app, I'm with engineers every day at work. Uh, Judgment's fine. A lot of times is real truth and value, and that criticalness, and that not being open to it. Oh, wow, why not? What can we learn? And oh, that was really helpful. And then keep moving, keep moving towards openness and acceptance and creativity and curiosity. So judgment is not a wall. Judgment's a bridge. Go, no, 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 I'm not open. I'm not really interested. Okay, well, tell me why. Let's talk about it. I really want to hear. And it becomes a dialogue, just like Katrina was saying about with AI. It's more of a dialogue. It's more interactive. And so that part of the brain of the engineer who's working with AI, he or she are becoming more interactive, more of a dialogue. And so when you do one thing like that, you start doing other things like that. They become more interactive, even with their friends or coworkers or family or partners. And there's more dialogues going on because that's what they're doing all day with AI.
Yes.
And next thing you know, their partner saying, wow, you are communicating more openly and more effectively than I ever remember you. What's happening? I don't think anything's happening. I'm just working with more AI and I'm dialoguing and interacting with AI. And next thing you know, their whole life is improving. So, it's that when you do this at work, when your work is very serious and, like you were saying earlier, Katrina, very, controlled, you tend to be very serious and controlled outside of work too.
Yes,
Exactly. Now that with AI, their mental health is growing, the more curious, they can explore more, they can move quicker and have more fun. And doing that at work, wow, they're actually more interactive, more communicative. They're having more fun. They're actually more enjoyable to be around. I didn't know engineers could be this much fun, right?
Okay, let's start going broader a little bit and get out of the space of just tech people, also because of our mission to see how tech can influence the world and how we can create solutions that impact all the people. And based on the questions that we also received before the show, but right now from Greg, Apodaca, and Daniel, I see this kind of aspect of accepting of emotions, of dealing with those kind of things that are not so techy. So I would love to know, because people around the globe might just realize that they have their own emotional interior, and since mental health was not discussed, and it's still not discussed in many countries, in many places, they believe that they are crazy and they don't even know how to judge themselves before judging others. And so this can create a lot of division. And because many times we don't want to look ourselves in the mirror, it's better to battle with the one in front of us who shows us the mirror. And so this can create a never-ending battle between us humans. How do you see that AI, in a very paradoxical way, could improve emotional expression, expression of self, and also in a way that you don't feel that you compromise, like Daniel said, your position as a leader or someone who wants to feel worthy and not undermined by others?
I wonder if for some people it's actually easier to talk to an AI that's not so personal than an actual person, even if it's a therapist or something. Some people find that hard to do. So I wonder if AI can help in that regard, because it's non-threatening. You're, for some people it's hard to talk to a person, look somebody in the eye, and be. So I wonder. I mean, there's a really cool tool called Hume that AI. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's you talk to it and it can sense your emotion based on your voice and and it's actually really good. I've been using it a little bit and playing around with it, and so maybe that will cause more people to open up. And I believe that the point of Hume, as it improves, is to provide more of the role that a trained therapist can. Right now we're just having a conversation, but it'll ask things like, oh, I sense that you don't seem very happy today, that kind of thing.
Well, we have actual science data. We've done a lot of studies using technology, using AI to ask questions, then to respond with actual skills that the person is needing. Because with AI and with emotional health, with mental health, it's very important to get to the underlying issues, because typically what AI has done in the past is they've tried to put band-aids on broken bones where, oh, you're feeling stressed. I hear it in your voice. So you answered that question in a stressed way. Here's some music and some waterfalls and just do that. But meanwhile, the person is struggling in their marriage. They're financially in a very difficult situation. They just lost a parent. So waterfalls and music helps them for a few minutes or maybe a half an hour, but it doesn't get to the issue, the underlying issue. Now with AI, because of what we've been doing all these years, we started with a phone system. Now we have a mobile app. We know the right questions and we know their answers can lead us to asking further questions about the underlying issues and help them resolve those, given that it's always supportive, it's positive, it's encouraging, it's helpful right away, it'll be helpful long term. So we've learned so much about what needs to happen to resolve the underlying issues, which takes decades of clinical experience to know how to do that. AI just can't come up with that. It needs the data from real life, real people, hundreds of thousands of people from 100 countries, and then also helping them feel better immediately and supporting, whether it's music or beautiful things. Those are all nice. But ultimately, like you were saying, Christina, human beings are emotionally driven. We care, we feel. I'm amazed at how sensitive people are. One criticism, one bullying, one negative, and people can just really be triggered and go down a rabbit hole real fast and stay there. On the other hand, the positive encouragement, love, support can really uplift us and all of that. But we can be in a great mood. Someone says one thing that's negative, it can really put us there. So the AI and the app and all the technology and the mental health and the emotional has to get to the underlying issues emotionally, mentally, physically, all of those areas that go on with epigenetics, goes on, has to be able to get to those to facilitate people evolving. And in saying that, Christina, it really needs to be personalized to fit them, their history, their life, their adverse childhood experiences, their positive childhood experiences. All of that algorithm has to be utilized. So you're talking to Katrina or Christina or Brian, so the system actually knows us. And what Katrina said, we proved people would much rather answer the adverse childhood experiences questions on their phone, their laptop, their desktop, because what you said, Katrina, is exactly right. They don't want to see you roll your eyes. They don't want to see you look judgmental. They don't want to shut down. There's enough shame and blame and self-judgment. Like you said, Christine, there's so much of that going on that if I do it at home in the privacy of my own home, which is all we do, we only have people answer these in the privacy of their work or home, not around anybody, just them. Answer the questions. There's 10 yes or no's and then 2 narrative questions, and they answer those questions. And then afterwards, we know how to deal with those questions, but it's always on a mechanism. It's never in person, because people tend to react when somebody tells them, a sexual abuse story, or, somebody in the family is incarcerated, or, they grew up at 2 divorces, or whatever it is, the therapist, the physician, well, I don't even know what to do with that. So they have some strange reaction, nonverbal, but the person can read it. But when you're doing it in the privacy of your own home or wherever you are and on your own system, like you said, Katrina, people are totally honest. They're willing to share it. And then as soon as they answer the questions, there's really clear solutions that fit them to help them. Well, now what do I do about it? Well, we know what you need to do about it, and here it is. And we hand it to them, and that can all be either with a person. We found about 25% of the people wanted to be with a person, and 75% learned enough with the AI and the technology. They got the skills and the training they needed, that they're able to, do better in their lives with just the tech. Yeah.
You touch base here a very sensitive question that is on the lips of everyone about how much AI and the empathic AI will replace humans from what they need
Yeah.
in a world where belongingness is decreasing, where we feel more and more lonely, where empathy, where an AI attack a robot can pretend to be more empathic, not that it is. We need to make the distinction, and has all the time in the world, all the patience in the world. It doesn't make those faces. And it can be so alluring. It can be so tempting to just have that instead
Yeah.
of any other human. And
Yeah.
so, how big is the danger to get to become even more solitary as humans if we embrace technology for our mental health and our needs?
I'll just say real quickly. I want to hear what Katrina says. I'll just say something really quickly. The answer is always both, Christina. It's not either or. It's not AI or human. It's not human or AI. It's both, because the interaction that we have with each other, even this way or in person, this is what we feel. This is really important. This is, really big for all of us to connect. And the AI can do follow up like a person could never do. I can follow you up, 7 times a day. You can reach me 3 in the morning, anytime with AI and with the tech. So it's a complement. It's it's an extra, and it's both. Either one by themselves are really limited. A person can only do so much. Mental health, there's not enough people doing it. So most people have to wait 2, 3, 4 months before they even get an appointment. So we're delivering tech support every day from the time they ask for it till they get to that appointment in 2 or 3 months. And then sometimes they need just a lot less, or, maybe it's even more valuable. So it's not either or. They complement each other, and the AI can really support what you're doing in your human, your meeting, your connection. So to make it simple, Christine, it's not either or, it's both. But Katrina, I wanted you to have a chance to respond to what Christina was saying.
I think that AI or technology can actually also help people get give people more practice in in this sort of opening up to an actual therapist or a psychiatrist or whatever, because it's sort of less people can be intimidated by going to a therapist or a psychologist. And I know this happened with my own my stepson who really needed it and didn't really want to go to a therapist or whatever. And I think now, I mean, this was many years back, but it would have been nice because he's, very, kids are very tech savvy and comfortable and doing stuff like that. Like, it would have been nice because I think then they would have been able to practice a little bit, interacting with that. And then, like anything else in, as you practice more, you get more comfortable with it. And then, and so then when you have, the chance to actually go to a therapist, you'd be more willing to do that. That's what I think, but I'm not a professional.
No, it's true.
I don't know where the time flies so quickly. I mean, I'm super frustrated. I would want to ask, what do you think is not addressed? What are the topics that inside mental health today globally is not addressed and influenced by technology? What we should talk more about today to help the global population accommodate to all the threats that we are facing in the world in a way that we don't create debilitated people with anxiety and mental health issues, but empowered individuals who want to fight for a better future.
Well, I would just say it's sort of what we're just talking about, doing both. Reach out to AI technology apps, reach out to people, coaches, mentors, doctors, therapists. Reach out and reach into your own inner ideas, your own inner wisdom, like you were saying, Christina, emotionally, mentally. So do both. Do as much as you can to reach out to others. And that includes helping others, not just getting help for yourself, but help people, because it's actually feels good to help other people. It's inspiring, and we all need extra help. So reach out, giving and receiving, and also reach in, giving and receiving. And so utilize all of the AI possibilities you can, utilize all the people in your life that you can, find new people to help and be helped by. Uh, so never give up on a great thing. Given that you are unique, there's only one of each of us in the world, and life does not repeat. So be giving, be receiving, reach out, reach in. I always say to people, do everything. Should I do this? Should I do that? Do everything and figure out what really works for you. And then you can start to trim back, once you find out what really is working. So be proactive um, about everything that really matters to you in your life.
And how to prevent the bad happenings that can go wrong when we apply AI in the wrong way, maybe policy-wise or private-wise, or combinations between bad actors and the good intention.
That's $1 million question. I think I think like almost every technology can be used for good or for not so good, right? I mean, that's definitely a tough one. But there are a lot of smart people out there that are trying to address this and make sure as much as we can in life to for AI to be more, contribute more to the positive than the negative.
And before I will address the final question to you both, I would love to know, Brian, you are working on an app that, for those who don't know, ACE comes from adverse childhood experiences, that in at the middle of your work, it means that everything we have now as an issue at our mental health status, including things like gaining weight and all kinds of traumas, are coming from a adverse childhood experience. And you have an app that will just launch this year, and based on a humongous study. We are not here to promote things, but this is important because it's based on the biggest research on mental health, and so there is real data and decades of work with the best people around. And I'm curious about how do you think this will affect, and if let's say it would be used by everyone, what can provide us from a mental health aspect?
Well, employers are getting it for their employees, so it'll be free, a benefit for the employees. Schools are getting it for their students and teachers and staff, so it'll be free for them because the schools are getting them. So it's going to be available to people everywhere in the world, either for free or for very little amount. So we want to make it available to everybody. People will use it because it works, and they'll discover they work. It's an overnight success, Christina, in 30 years.
Yes. Also name the app for people to know.
Pardon me?
Name the app also.
The app is called Enlighten, ENLIGHTN, and everybody will see it in June because the 50 software programmers in Slovenia are almost finished with it, and the people in America are working on it, and so we're very close. We're testing, of course. And it was originally a phone system that worked very well with tens of thousands of people at Kaiser. It's now an app. And I told you last time, Christine, it's called Enlighten because in my travels to India to see if anybody was actually enlightened, I found out after a lot of trips and a lot of ashrams and a lot of wonderful women and men teachers that enlightenment is unconditional acceptance of yourself.
Thank you for saying
that's
that.
what
I
the
didn't
app
want to
teaches.
forget the definition.
Yeah.
So just repeat it for the world because it's so
Yes.
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
And that's what the app teaches: unconditional acceptance of yourself by getting to the underlying issues in very positive and caring ways, because people feel better right away, and we follow people up for 20, 30 years, so we have great follow-up with the system. uh, and that's the name of the app, Enlighten. I thought enlightenment was too bold or too big, and I didn't want engineers to think it's too ethereal or too, fuzzy wuzzy. So I enlightened became the word. Dr. Folletti agreed. Yeah, that's a good word. And but that's the origin of the name of the app.
Yeah. And so at the end of our show, I would love to resume because we saw the questions that came our way, most of them around that are touching mental health and not AI disruption around the world and what can go wrong, Kamal, just for you to know. I would want to focus on the mental health aspect and how we can improve this and spread it to the world in a way that it will help. In my opinion, for example, technology and AI will definitely do more good than harm. Always there is a danger, but on the grand scheme of humanity and evolution, there is no other way than technology, than using energy better, improving our ways, solving our existential threats until we get to that level one society where we can control the earth and the climate and the weather and all of those things that now are a true threat, and we need to solve those. But we have to project somehow to be able to project globally a positive vision and make people excited that that is a reality that can become true. So my last question to you would be, what's the vision you have to the world based on your experience and based on what you're seeing and what you're hearing, because you are both uh, close to a lot of information from the mental health aspect, from the ground, and also from the world, and also the technical aspects and the innovations that are happening inside closed doors. What is the vision you have for the world?
I think the world is going to be a much better place very soon. A lot of it attributed to AI. I'm definitely one of the positive, the people who are on the positive camp on AI. I know there are some that are very, very concerned, but you know what? Those people are also super valuable. The reason why the positive is going to happen is because there are people that are concerned about the negative, and so we'll mitigate that. So I believe the AI revolution is way faster than, like, I've lived through other technology disruptions like the internet and social media and all that, but AI is moving so much faster and improving at a much quicker pace, and so I am very, very um, positive about the future.
And we need that positivity, and we need to know that there are exactly those kind of people who truly care about the good, and they are smart. They are not easy to be fooled around, and people need to know that. Thank you.
Yeah. And I love what Katrina's saying, because there's so much that's right about AI. There's so much it's available to everybody in the world right now. Same with the adverse childhood experiences questions and the positive childhood experiences questions. Even before the app comes out, they can go to True Sage. It's free to everybody. The questions, techniques, solutions. So it's available. AI, the mental health, emotional health, proven, valuable, exciting. It's available to everybody right now. Now, what's coming in the future, in the far, far future, is very encouraging. And, the people that are the naysayers or the judges, even the people that may be the abusers or perpetrators, just like with love is the most powerful healing force in the world, but people can use it and abuse it and really do bad things with it. Same with emotional health, AI, mental health. So we know that. Then it's up to people like us and all the people viewing, all the people that care, and care implies everything, that we do what we can to keep moving things in a positive direction and be supportive and understanding as much as possible, compassionate and caring with the people that aren't being helpful or maybe causing problems because they're actually all struggling with their adverse childhood experiences. It's not that they're bad people, they're doing bad things because they're stuck having unresolved ACEs. And of course, as soon as they resolve them, they become much happier, healthier, positive people. That's a climb. And we will never give up on anybody that's willing to, help themselves and move forward. I would agree with Katrina, though, in AI, in mental health, the future is bright.
Awesome. And once we open up our multiple media channels to act as a media channel, we want you back for go in depth with everything that this system represents and ACEs, what are the ACEs, how we can solve them, because I truly believe that if we have sane individuals, positive individuals in our lives and to lead our world, we would have a bright future ahead. And so we can have that, but based on how many people align on this and act upon because they believe it's true and we can get there. Where can people find you? Both, where do you want to be found if you want to be found? If you have any project to announce.
I can always be found on LinkedIn, and my name is it's not. I'm not unique in that, but it's quite a unique name, so it's easy to find.
Yes. And same with me. You can find me on LinkedIn or any other social media platform. I post videos every single day. People that know me know I do. And they can come to True Sage because that's where the announcement of Enlighten will be. And they can get the ACEs and they can get the positive childhood experiences and really start to get some solutions free any day, 24 hours a day. So, connect with me any way that you can, and I will get back to you myself.
Thank you for this lovely discussion, and you will be back for sure because we are preparing so many things. And now with the global story and what we are aiming for, we need as many partners, reliable and awesome partners like you who want the good. And you can find me on LinkedIn as well. I represent PLL, of course, Tech Leadership Lab. We are up for good things. We are here to unite the globe and create the direction of solving the SDGs sooner, shaping the future together because we are in this together. And that is the attitude we want to just spread around the world in a non-discriminatory fashion, where we understand that there are differences in our world, but we can find a common story to unite us. Through our differences, we can create a beautiful garden with many flowers, with different senses, with different colors, with different flavors that only together look like a beautiful garden. Because if you would just paint that garden in blue or green and everything would be the same color, it would give you any emotion, any kind of action, desire to grow, and wouldn't make you happy for sure. But together with all of those colors and shades and shapes, we can have a wonderful garden where we mostly can enjoy life and fulfill our dreams and aspirations. And with that said, connect with us, subscribe to our channel, see the replays from the summit, read the document, the consensus document. Also subscribe to our newsletter and get back every Wednesday because we have lives every Wednesday to spread the word and to get in touch with all the news that are coming up every week. And with that said, with a lot of love and good intention for this world, I'll see you next week, and thank you for being with us today.
In a world yearning for change, there exists a community of visionaries and innovators, united by a common goal to solve Earth's biggest challenges. From climate action to quality education, we're tackling all 17 Sustainable Development Goals reassembled as 10. We embody sustainability, unity, and empathy. Our character and reliability shine as beacons of hope. As role models for future generations, we're building a world where wisdom and consciousness rise, harmonizing life with nature and all species. Join us. Together, let's create a balanced, sustainable future for all.